So, hi YouTube, I just had a beautiful meditation. By the way, you should meditate too. Start with 5 minutes. Ooh, judgment in the tower. But this is a good tower if it's combined with judgment. So there's a structure, something in your life that kind of became too tight and it was connected to the ego. There's a crown on top of that tower. But it came too tight, right? It became something that is hindering you. And there's the judgment card. You're waking up from that. You're being freed out of your own prison. So let's just see where this is going. I'm going to shuffle the cards a little bit more. There's the 9 of Wands again. Enclosement, kind of a little isolation, imprisonment. You built a little wall with your 8 wands. You're holding on to your 9th wands. That's the wounded warrior, right? But that's the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is all about self-worth, loving yourself, respecting yourself, knowing your own self-worth, right? Your own right to be here, to come back to the world. Let's just keep the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck because that's the dirty fight. So the wounded warrior, the tower that is bursting, judgment, release, an ending conflict. Fast, soon, very, very soon. 8 of Wands, that's a very fast energy. 7 and 8 of Wands, so you're standing your ground. Nobody can reach you. You already you're almost there, right? You're already on your little hill, whatever. And these 7 Wands, they can't even touch you. They can't even reach you. But you're standing your ground and you're always on the lookout. Like the 9 of Wands, kind of the wounded warrior, you're not really trusting the blessings that are coming. Underlying energy, that's the Chariot. Again, the universe is on your side. Everything is going forward. We don't know where, but we have an indication when I shuffle the cards, right? Freedom. Release. The tower is bursting. There's judgment. There's the 9 of Wands, and you owe it to yourself to come back to the world, I would say. The universe on your side. Chariot, the 8 of Wands. Then we got a lot of work in your recent past. Good work that is meaningful to you. There's the Moon card. You're stealing yourself away. That's the outcome. Again, ending a conflict. 7 of Swords energy can be a little tricky. It can be the narcissist of the tarot deck. It can be somebody who is betraying you. But in this constellation, where it's all about, bursting something open, release, a new lease on life, basically. We have the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, right? That's the dirty conflict, but you kind of won the dirty conflict, but you're winning the dirty conflict by just no longer engaging in it, right? You're disengaging from whatever conflict there is or used to be that was kind of imprisoning you. Hope that makes sense for someone out there. So the antagonist, I would say, needs some energy. The narcissist in your life needs some energy to, get your energy, It's a vampire. It's a parasite. It's a narcissist. It's someone who steals your energy. And how they steal energy is by entangling you into some conflict. They need you to engage with them. So disengagement and concentrating on what you need to do, need to be, need to experience in your life, that is the most important thing, and that is the lesson that the Hierophant knows all about, you know. The Hermit, okay. Page of Swords, and there's the Tower again. Then it happens, right? And I'm going to do some clarifiers here because the Tower showing up 2 times while I shuffle the cards here again. And the Tower, outside world connected to the Hermit. Interesting, interesting. But you're the Hierophant. You already learned a lesson. You were concentrating on your own stuff. You were doing your own thing, right? And somebody didn't like that and entangled you in all sorts of conflicts, right? So how to disengage? You are disengaging. You are leaving this tower, and see this tower not as something bad, you know? This is kind of your prison, right? And you're going out. You're disengaging from it. Page of Cups, clarifying the 8 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is clarified by 5 of Pentacles. So there's a little fear, maybe of leaving the tower, maybe of a new chapter in life, right? Seven of Wands, okay. So you were standing your ground with work, I guess. There's the Moon card clarified by the Moon card, okay. Subconscious energy, there's the Sun card clarifying the Chariot. Very good. And the 7 of, okay, not this one, the 7 of, yeah, fear, guilt, shame. Okay, this is big. So I talked about what is the Tower. The Tower can be a form of manipulation, right? Of narcissistic abuse, for example. So you only fall prey to narcissists if you're engaging with them, if you believe their lies. I mean, they are tricky, you know. There's no shame in falling for the lies of a narcissist. But if you identified narcissists in your life, you must be the Hierophant, the wise man, the Pope, so to speak, the spiritual leader who learned a hard lesson and disengage from these people. That means sometimes you have to stand on your own, like the Hermit, right? Follow your own consciousness, your own idea, your own lection that you have learned. Page of Wands clarified by the 3 of Wands, and the Tower is clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. So, you got the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So something went wrong, there were a few cups were spilled, but there are 2 cups still standing, so you still got something out of it. And in the 5 of Swords, you're taking 2 swords with you. You got a third one in the other hand, so not everything was lost during the fight. But fear, guilt, shame, these are the triggers of the narcissist, right? Fear, guilt, shame. And you are disengaging from that, right? There's fear, that's the 8 of Swords. And there's the 5 of Swords, not the 7 of Swords. Disengaging from that mindset that you're not good enough, that, you know, fear, guilt, shame, whatever it is for you, there's always something. And this fear, guilt, shame thing, that's the prison, that's the Tower. You know, and usually you get some sort of crown, you know, that's your prize, basically, you know. But you're tearing this Tower down, right? Because you're trusting yourself. There's the Chariot, the sun is coming, everything is working for you. You're standing your ground, you're concentrating, instead of concentrating on people who tell you how bad you are, what you should be ashamed about, you know, all these horrible stories, you know, that are kind of enclosing you and taking your power away. Don't even justify yourself to these people, you know. You concentrate on building your stuff, and this is how you stand your ground. Concentrate on your work, concentrate on your pentacles, your talents. What do you want in life? The most important thing, I tell you that, since the Hierophant is here, is inner peace and dealing with ambiguity. That is also very important. There's the Two of Pentacles clarifying the Tower. Being able to stand on your own. Being able to not being dependent on the emotional breadcrumbs that somebody throws towards you. Guess this is a quick reading. There's 2 times the moon. I would say, I would definitively suggest that you would check in a week or 2, maybe 1.5 weeks. I would say a week, because this reading is all about you. That's fertility. Number 14. You are in the process of giving birth to something, you know? That's kind of giving birth to something new, right? So you're in preparation, you're disengaging from toxic people, you're disengaging from their stories of guilt, fear, shame. You're just no longer arguing against it. The more you argue against it, the more energy you give these people or these creatures, whatever. Concentrate, use your energy to build something for yourself. There's the Eight of Pentacles. This is the straight line. This is how you stand your ground. You're almost there, I would say. It ends with you freeing yourself, right? That's not a bad tower. I say it again. That's the end of whatever cage that you have been entangled with, and I would say these are mind games, all these swords energy. You're standing above it, concentrate on yourself, do your work. Whatever it is for you, concentrate on what is yours, what you build for yourself. This could be your work, your career, your business, your whatever it is that you're doing that is important for you and opens up more possibilities for you. That is your thing. Concentrate on that. And don't listen to all these people who tell you, oh, you're not good enough, you're never going to make it, blah, blah. Don't even argue with them, because they're taking your power away just by entangling you in these arguments. Stand your ground. There's a new consciousness already here with the Hermit, and there's the Ace of Swords clarifying the Hermit. You are the Hierophant, right? You learned this lesson the hard way, but we learned it. And now you're finally breaking free from it. Fertility, that means you're about to give birth to a new version of yourself. Let's just see. Fruitful harvest. You have entered a fertile period through which you will give birth to something beautiful. This card signifies a physical or spiritual birth, or both. Whatever you now focus on, you create and give birth to. Whatever you create now, whatever you focus on, you create and give birth to. So your focus creates your birth process and whatever it is that you're giving birth to. So do not focus on negative thoughts or negative feelings. You should eat well. You should exercise, not too much, but go for long walks, just this week, just for a week or 2. Because I would say for a week or something, they will just try to trigger you. You will be absolutely successful if you concentrate on your work, on building stuff that makes sense to you. Whatever you now focus on, you create and give birth to. You have tended and nourished the field. The earth is fertile and you will reap a great harvest from what is sown. This is a time of prosperity and creativity, a time to thank Mother Earth for her many blessings. It is a time to reflect on life cycles and the inherent wisdom of death and rebirth. A time to honor the ancestors, thank the past and embrace your golden future. It is a time to honor your sacred earth. Honor your sacred earth. So, and the only relevant earth card here is the Eight of Pentacles. You working on your own thing, what makes sense to you, and you're disengaging from all the BS in your surroundings. And that might mean that for the next week, whenever you hear this, you concentrate on yourself and you are a little bit a hermit and don't even engage in all this BS around you that is presented to you. Do good, it will come back to you in unexpected ways. Do good, it will come back to you in unexpected ways. That's the good one. If I'm arguing, I care. If I'm arguing, I care. If I'm quiet, I'm done. So by all means, be done with that. That's also, the Hierophant is also about a certain discipline and wisdom of your own consciousness and mind. Your focus determines your reality. You will give birth to whatever you concentrate on. So don't concentrate on arguments, don't concentrate on justifying yourself, don't concentrate on all these narcissists with all their nonsense, right? Concentrate on building your stuff, doing your thing, you know? That's the way it is. And people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And here's a lesson about trust. That's also a Hierophant lesson here. First, you trust like a fool. You just trust everybody. Like a puppy dog, you just trust everybody. That's level 1. Level 2, you don't trust people at all. Which is just the opposite. It's like the pendulum. You trust everybody and then the exact opposite swings back in different direction, right? Opposite direction. You're trusting everybody, you're trusting nobody. Both of these extremes of the pendulum are wrong. That's what most bipolar people in general, and a narcissist is a bipolar person, creature, whatever. They don't get that, but you get it, right? It's not either or, it's both in moderation. Lower the amplitude. You don't trust like a fool just everybody, right? You don't trust people at all. That would be the other extreme. But a third phase, I think after narcissistic abuse, right? And this narcissistic abuse chapter of your life is ending. And you're going to be, you know, your focus is determine your reality. That's what you're focusing on. The good work that is meaningful to you, that you built for yourself. That's your focus. And about trust, not trusting anybody, not trusting everybody and not trusting anybody. You trust people, but you're so strong and focused on your own thing, right? That their betrayal doesn't even bother you, right? And you can only do that by primarily focusing on yourself, because that's the only consciousness that you have direct influence on. You can't change other people. And if you might have the greatest will, you know, or the greatest intention, the best intention, right? But sometimes you can't change people, and you eventually you have to accept that you can't change these people. And that's also hermit energy, Hierophant energy, standing your ground, disengaging from conflict. Soon it will be super nice. It's just maybe a week or two. You know, it's almost the Chariot, the Eight of Wands, Tower, bang. You just, you know, there's an event basically where you free yourself, and that's how you have to see it. You free yourself from that negative energy, right? Narcissistic abuse, somebody stealing your energy, somebody polluting your thoughts and feelings through guilt, fear, shame. And you're standing your ground, and you just disengage with all that. And you don't need to fight, right? You don't need to fight. You disengage. You don't feed the troll anymore, right? You don't need your worries. Use your energy to create something. And of course, you need to trust people. Not like a puppy, but also not trusting anybody. That's also not the solution. You trust people, but if you focus your energy primarily on what it is important for you, instead of what other people tell you would be important, that's the best you can do. And you have to re-engage with the world. And I feel like leaving this tower is the beginning of this new chapter. You're giving birth kind of to yourself, a newer version of yourself. You're coming out of your cocoon, right? Think about the butterfly and the caterpillar. Think about the tower as the cocoon. There the lightning strikes, and from a caterpillar perspective, that looks pretty frightening, right? But from a butterfly perspective, the cocoon needs to burst open in order for the butterfly to come out. And I think you're giving birth to that butterfly version of yourself finally. And the best thing you can do in these last few steps towards that is just to be reasonable, be you know, inner peace is the most important thing, the best advice that I can give you. Concentrate on your work. Concentrate on what is important for you, what makes sense to you. There's something very practical with the Eight of Pentacles that you have to work on, right? Concentrate on that, what makes sense to you. And just do that, right? And not so much, at least for a week or so, don't ask people for advice. Be a little hermit for this week. Go for long walks, meditate, do your work, and you're good. That's all I got. I hope it resonates with you. I hope it meant something to you. If it was meaningful to you, leave a comment. Thank you very much for that. Share, like, subscribe, and see you soon. Now goodbye, my friend. Ciao.